Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how reserve setting works in Yapsody. Not just how to create seats, but how to design a real world venue experience that your customers can easily understand and book from. Now, by the end of this demo, you'll know how to create a reserve setting event from scratch, design a sitting chart, price different sections, and understand exactly what customers see while booking tickets. Now, first and foremost, the problem statement why exactly we got this feature in the first place. Now, without reserve setting, presenters often used to face confusion at the venue, like manual seat allocation, overcrowded front rows, and limited control over how sitting is organized and sold at the venue. So, reserve setting solves this by letting you visually map your venue, clearly define sections and seats, and sell tickets in a way that reflects how this venue is actually laid out in real life. Now, everything is designed to mirror on ground setting while keeping the booking experience simple for customers and operationally smooth as you as presenter. Now, guys, let's hop on to our box office where I'll quickly help you creating a reserve setting, guiding you how to create a performance. And after that, we start with the actual purpose of this session today, like how to create reserve setting sections, mapping them, everything. So as you see on my screen right now, I have my account name. Just next to that, I have create event. I'll quickly click on that, click on reserve setting. I'll just add a title as test reserve, test reserve. I'm adding the same as the description, adding an event image, adding a category. As of now, I'm just adding some random category here. Since this is just for a demonstration purpose, I'm adding a venue. Now here the presenter email address. This is mandatory. You have to add it. You can hide it from the ticket buyers. So your ticket buyers cannot see that if you want. You can add a presenter details like your email address that you want your ticket buyers to see and contact you, or your website details or your telephone number. I'll just skip this part. I'll click on save and proceed. Now here it asks me to add a performance. I'll add some random date here. So start date as 30th of Jan. I'm putting 5 p.m. and ends at 8 p.m. Okay, this is just to give you an idea of how to create. Now a performance has been added. Now guys, we are on the sitting tab right now. The second tab that you see, where you see my mouse cursor hovering. Now this is where the reserve setting truly starts. And before drawing anything on the chart, we'll first create seat categories. Let's click on add category and give it a name like section 1, or you can name it as a platinum, whichever you find it comfortable. Just for demonstration, I'm just adding section 1 here. I'm just assigning this color that you see. Let me add one more category. I'll tell you the reason. Change the color. Now you see that I've added two sections. I'll tell you the reason behind it. These colors aren't cosmetic, just for decoration purpose. They help customers instantly understand pricing based on different ticket types while booking. So, and it is also important to note that once seat categories are created, they can't be edited or deleted later. However, you always have the option to choose whether or not to use a category while setting up the seating layout. So, let's click on proceed. You can have as many categories as you want. I've just for demonstration, I've choose two. Now, before we add anything like stage or sections here for our reserve setting based on the theater that we have or whatever we have, so we'll discuss few points about the tools that we see towards the left that will give us a clear picture what exactly this is all about. Now, I'll give you an overview what these tools are. Starting from the top, we see the select tool. Now you're going to use this tool most of the times. Now if we draw a rectangle for the stage, we use the select tool to resize it, change color and label it. Like just to give you an example, if I created a rectangle here, now this is the select tool which I normally use, and the moment I select this, every option which is in the right side towards right, the customization options gets highlighted and I can start editing it only after I use the select tool. So that's how important this tool is. Now give me a minute. Now let me take you to one of my account that I already have created an event which I've already created some accounts that will help us to understand what exactly each tool means. So just allow me a minute. So here is my another event which I've created for you all so I can explain you these tools in a better way. So I've already explained you the select tool. Let's hop into like brush tool. Now what brush tool does, it makes it easy. So if you want to grab the whole row at once, this comes into handy. Then we have like the select same type tool. What it does is that if I click on select same type tool, it will anything which is in blue or anything which has a similar rows, it will capture that in just one go rather than I drag it and do it. Then we have node tool. The node tool helps you like to bend and reshape any selection so layouts can match with the real venue. So if you notice this, if I want to like drag it to the existing sections, I can use this tool in order to do that. Then comes this interesting tool, which is the focal point tool, which marks the stage or a main area, helping the system knows which are the best seats available. We're gonna use it at the most. So I've added this tool here, right exactly in front of the stage. So the circle that it denotes the best seats available accordingly. We're gonna show you how exactly this is done just in a later part. As of now, I'll just explain you these tools. Then we have a selection tool, section tool, sorry. So we've got two different options. The first thing, it just gives me an idea if there's any event or if there's any rows or any map that a little tedious to do where we have to do it manually. This is where it comes into handy where I can do it as per my will. So this is how it is done. And if I just want to do a single rectangular, this is the best way I can do it. So the one that you see, which I already created like section 1 and section 2, I've used a rectangle tool in order to create a section. Because the theater that I was working for creating event, we had rectangular sections to it. So as of now, I'll just delete this. So then comes the rectangular area tool. So the rectangle tool usually is to make general admission sections. I'll show you that. So it has three options like rectangular area tool, elliptic area tool and polygonal area tool. So you can use whichever area that you want. So I'm just using a rectangular right now. So once I've added this, I can select it. The moment I select it, as earlier note I told you, the customization towards the right opens up and I get an option to select it as a general admission here. I can mark this as general admission and I can add a capacity accordingly to this particular section. That's what it does. Now, once the rectangular tool is done, we also have another option. Now, even this look exactly the same. The one was rectangular and this one is a rectangle tool. Now rectangle tool, what it does is that, so anything that you want to check what exactly this tool does, you just draw it, you just select this tool. Towards right, you see a customization option where you can customize this, you can label it. So right now I'll, towards label, I get a drop down. So if I want to add a stage, like the way that I've added to this section, to this event, I can add a stage here. Now similarly, the line tool is handy for marking aisles or pathways. Now we can add labels with the text tool that we have here, and dropper symbols using the icon tool. The icon tool, like if you want to showcase where exactly are the stairs or the exit, you can use this tool. Together, these tools make the sitting chart clear, flexible, and very easy to understand to your ticket buyers. So that's what the importance of these tools are. We're gonna use these tools and make our event like sitting chart much more better. So when we design a sitting chart, the very first step is setting up the stage, because this becomes the focal point of the entire venue. So in order to set up the stage, we're going to use the rectangular tool, and we'll just create a small stage here. So after adding it, we're going to select this, and customization option gets open to us, right? We can increase the font. So you can change the width, height to make it more visible and appealing to the customers. So one of the most advantage of this rectangle tool is labeling. Now from the drop down, we can choose the predefined labels like stage, entrance, cafe. There are a lot of options like restroom, food court, bar that you can select on. And if we need something more specific, we can type a custom. So we have an option of custom option as well, where you can type whatever option that we want. We can just type it there, and that will appear on the stage, the box that you see here. Now, once we are done adding a stage or naming it, what we can do is we can just click on save and proceed, which you see towards the top right, and to lock our progress, either now or we can do it once we are completed the entire chart. We can do that. We can do that anytime. So right now, the next thing that we can do is we can add a section, because in front of the stage, we want to add some sections that where normally ticket buyers will see and enjoy the event. So in order to use that, we're going to use this rectangular section tool that denotes with letter S. So I'm just going to create a normal boxes, like a rectangular boxes here. I can even copy that once I just do it. So first and foremost, let me just quickly label this. So I'm putting this as section 1. I'm labeling it as section. Putting section 1 so it's easier for me to remember and everyone. So I've just named this section. It's quite small. Let us just increase the font of it, font size. From 12, I've changed it to like 25. You can also change the transformation. You can scale it. You can smoothen it if you want. So once we have done this, now in order to add sections to it, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this again, double click on this, and we need to ensure that we just, whatever the rules that we have want to add on this, we just need to add this in this box that we see. Because if this, now once we have created the section, we double clicked on that, we are in that section. Now comes the time when we're going to add rows to that section. Now in order to do that, we have this row tool that you see my mouse cursor hovering on it. So the moment I click on it, it gets a slider where I have two or three options: row tool, row with segments tool, and multiple row tools. So if I already know what the number of seeds that are going to add, and if that is in the multiples of 10 or the numbers, either I can just create a single row and keep on adding the same way, or if I know that the number is in like multiples of 10 or multiples of 15, what I can do is I can work smart and I can just do this, I can use multiple rows. So just for this demonstration purpose, I'm adding 10 as rows, 10 seats in a row, and I'll just drag it down. I'll keep this as 50 for this particular section. Okay, now once I do this, I'll just select this entire row using the select tool. Once I do this, I'll assign a category. Now, when I assign a category, now here you can just play around. You can either just assign a seat category to one particular row like this, or if you want, you can just put just one particular section just for the everything. Okay. So what I've done here is that I've labeled section 2 for the entire section, the entire rows, all the rows that we have. Now I'm just going to put a row label and everything. So I can play around. I can just put some row spacing if I want. I can do C spacing. I put in the labels as ABC. By clicking on this position, if I click on this, this will highlight the row labels like A, B, row A, row B, and this will appear similar. This will help you at the online store where the ticket buyers actually try to purchase ticket. They'll be able to clearly see which row has which seats. Now to number the seats, this seats IO that the setting option that we have, you'll be amazed to know you don't have to number them manually. You just select the number as 1, 2, 3, and it will cover all the numbers, and that's it. We are all done. If you see, all the three checks have been completely done. There's no duplicate. All objects are labeled. All objects are categorized correctly. So we are done with this particular section. So what we're going to do, we're going to exit this section now. Now, once we have exited the section, now the event that I normally plan to do this has one more section here. So, and it has the similar section. So I have an option. So if the section is similar to section 1, what I can do is I can just select this using the select tool, and I can either copy this and paste it, or the best thing I can do is I can just duplicate it. So just by duplicating, I have copied the exact content of section 1, and I can just simply change it. So earlier section 1, so I'll just keep it as section 2, and the label, I'll also change the label and name it as section 2. So already everything is already marked, but here what I'll do, I'll select it again. Earlier we had kept it section 2, right now we'll keep section 1 here as a category. Everything is exactly the same, the rows are labeled correctly, the numbers are correctly added. So we have done this. So if you got any image that you want to add to this row sections, if you have, you can just put it as a background. You can just click on it, and any background image that you have, you can just add it. Ensure that you follow the condition that you have. It has to be PNG file, GIF, JPG, or SVG. I should not cross more than 10 megabytes. That's the only thing that you need to remember. We'll talk about the reference chart in just a while, but before that, we're going to just make sure everything is correctly done. If you notice that everything is correctly done, let's click on save and proceed. Now guys, under section 1, I just want to show you something else. Like, we have added rows here, but what if this event has a tables for you for the event? How we can do that? Now, just underneath the row tool, we also have round table tool. And when you click on this, we get an option either to add a round table or either to add a rectangular table tool. So just for demonstration, I'll just add both of them, and you just have to simply just click on it and it will keep on getting added. So, and then if I use the select tool again, I'll just select one and gives me an option to increase the chair. Right now, I can see that they have added 6 chairs. That is by default. If I want to increase the chairs, I can just select here and I can just keep increasing it. Okay, or if that chair is a smaller chair, I can ensure that it's only for whatever the number it is. Same thing applies with the rectangular table as well. And one more thing, I just want to add to it along with it. Now, if you notice the section tool that I've already added 50 rows and tables, rows with seats, 50 seats in it. So, in case, say for an example, I have to ensure that any rows that I'm adding or any seats that I'm adding, it has to be within this section tool. So, if rows or table extend outside the section, that's never a problem. So we can exit using the exit section tool, the one that you see here, resize the section, and then double click back inside and rearrange everything again. So I'll just show you how to do that. So what I'll do is I'll just fit two tables here. So I'll just increase the size so that everything gets under this. Because if you notice this, I'll just take you back. I'll just exit the section. So these tables are not inside the section. So when the ticket buyer actually books ticket, it will be it won't look good to the ticket buyers when they actually see some tables outside it. So we'll just ensure that we'll fix it right away. I'll just delete this. We can just get it increase. We're gonna use the node tool. So using the node tool, I can just increase the width or the height of this particular section so that if I have to enter more seats here or more table, I can easily do that. So let's just use the node tool. Let's drag it. Now again, I use the select tool. I double click on this. Now I have enough space to add tables or any extra seats that I want to add. So just for demonstration purpose, I'm adding one circular table and one rectangle table here. So again, if I want to increase, I can just increase the chair, and right now I'll just label it as section 1. Now something interesting that I want to showcase here. Now say for an example, if I just want to make sure, if I want to label a particular seat. Now what I mean by label is, let's take an example. There's some accessibility like seats that you want to provide it to your ticket buyers at your online store, so the ticket buyer they can book that. So you can just using this second option at the top, we can select seats tool. I can select a particular seat, and the moment I select it, towards right I get the customization option here, where I can see under seat properties, under accessibility option, I see either it's a wheelchair accessible or semi-ambulatory seats, companion seat, or plus size, whatever I want, I can just do that. So if you see, the moment I've done that, a logo appeared here, letting your ticket buyers know that this will be a wheelchair accessible seat. Similarly, if there's a different seat and if I want to change that, I want to give them a different option. Like this is a restricted view. I can also do that. So that's how you can do it. Also, say for an example, here's your, so I'll just take, this was just for information purpose how you can do this. I'll take off this table. I'll ensure that the section tool is back again to its normal position. I hope you got an idea like how you can add a table and how you can dedicate a particular seat which you can make it to either accessible seats or plus size just by denoting that particular tool. Let me select it again. Now, say for an example, if I want a particular seat, say this is the last seat and the stage is at the top. Now, if there's any restricted view or if there's any option like I want to show how exactly the view looks like from that particular seat. I do have an option to do that. I can just click on view from seats. I've selected a particular seat using this select seat tool option. I'm clicking on view from seats right now, and Let me just add something. I'm, uh, I'm adding a view from the seat for this E first seat. So this is the view that I've added for this particular seat. So when we actually go to the online store, we can see how exactly this looks like at the online store for the ticket buyers when they actually try to book tickets. Let me also just add one more view. Let me add a restricted view here. So when we try to book tickets later on at the online store, we get to know how exactly things works. That's it. We'll come out. We'll go to exit. We'll exit the section. Guys, we have one more feature under the table options. Let me just show you that as well. Now, I just hop on to like adding one table here and let me showcase. Let me just increase the size of this section by using the node tool again so I can fit in my table here. So just for the demonstration purpose, what I'll do is I'll just add one table here. Let me add a rectangular table. So this is 8 chairs. Let me just increase it and make it to 10. So 5 in each rows. Now let me also add a category here. I'll add a category section 1 this time. Now the important point that we want to notice here is now we have a feature called your table, your rules. Now you can sell single seat or the whole table in one click because we had queries from a lot of presenters that they want to ensure that the entire family wants to sit together. So how this can be done? They don't want anyone else to buy any ticket, a single ticket on that table, because that will ruin the entire family like event. So what we can do in order to get that fit? So again, let's open the city chart. So we have selected that table here. Now towards bottom right, you see that there's an option of miscellaneous. Now by default, this is selected as book by seat. So book by seat like clearly means like anyone can book any seat of this particular table, any one ticket, one seat, or like more than one seat. But the moment you change it to variable occupancy table, what immediately it does is that it gives you an option to add a rule here. Like users, as it quickly says, users select the whole table, then specify a number of places to select. So if I see that there are a number of 10 seats here, I can just click here, I can just change it to 10. This means that anyone who's booking this table, he has to buy the entire 10 tickets, entire 10 tables that are the chairs available on the table. So that's what the rule is. So I'll just give you an example. So for example, if the table has 8 seats or 10 seats, so just enter the last number, the maximum number that you see, either 8 or 10. This way, the system will only allow booking the full table. So that's what the best option here is. So guys, we talked about like adding seats, adding tables, and how to ensure that the tables are completely sold out by putting variable occupancy table. I just want to address one more point here to ensure that the selection tool, we ensure that we also discuss about the focal point. I've already discussed about the focal point earlier. I'll just discuss it again. Now the focal point, what it ensures that we just always add it towards stage. The reason is because the moment we add it next to the stage, the circle that you see, so this helps you to get the best available seats, and this also helps you while booking tickets by a ticket buyer, and this also helps for someone who's booking tickets at the venue like at the box office person or even an owner. So we just quickly added it, so you can change it later on if you want. Now I'll show you what exactly this does at the online store when we talk about the online store, when we go to the online store to do this. Guys, now we're going to talk about one of the most important feature. But before that, I just want to let you know, if you look at the screen, I've just ensured both the section looks like almost similar so that it looks neat and clean. Now we're going to talk about the reference chart auto seat scanner. Now this is really interesting, and this will really make your life easier in order to create events, because manually it takes a lot of time. So just to showcase that, and also to give you a 3D effect on your seats, what you can do is, you can, if you notice this edit floors, you can put one more floor if you got balcony or something. If you have a theater event, if you got balcony, this is the way that you do it. You can add another floor, and here what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna add a reference chart to it. So instead of manually drawing every single seat, all you need to do is upload a reference image of your venue and just click once. The scanner instantly detects the seat in that row and automatically creates them for you. So it basically identifies how many seats are present and picks up the best seat, the seat numbers directly from the image, saving you an enormous amount of time, especially when it's a large or a complex event that you're gonna create. So let us do that. So I already have an image that I've created. I'll just name this as balcony. I could have done it on the first floor itself, on the first image itself, but this is just giving you an idea on the demonstration, so you know that you can also put like balcony or another floor on top of that, which will make your event image, or the image that you're adding, the seat map. It gives a 3D effect to it, and I'll show you that when I take you to the online store. So I added balcony. Let me just add one chart here. So I've already downloaded a sitting chart which has exact numbers and everything. Few things that we need to just remember when we're adding a reference chart and we caliber that. Before that, the seat shapes in the reference image must be fully closed. For example, it is clear circles or rectangular. And a second thing we need to make sure is, it's always best to use a high quality or high resolution sitting chart, so the scanner can easily identify much more accurately, and even the numbers can be easily added directly by the system itself. You don't have to manually add the numbers if the numbers are clear enough. And the scanner detects the seat and their numbers only. Row names, section labels, and another annotations are not captured there. So let us show that. First, we'll calibrate the chart. So we are just making sure we are dragging it to reposition the chart. So we are just decreasing the zoom here, clicking on next. We just need to match the size of the seat, because what it does is that it will help us like adding the numbers based on the size that we are doing. So right now you see the circle is a little smaller. So we're just gonna increase the seat size just to match. This is good enough. Okay, now since we have selected the four seats, let's just quickly next. We're just ensuring that everything. So we are just confirming it again. So it clearly says reference chart was calibrated. Now we have added this chart here. Now since we have added a chart, let us use that functionality of auto scanning. I've selected the seat again, the entire chart. But before that, we just need to add a section on top of this chart. So we use the rectangular section option because this is the one that works best for clearly defined sitting sections. Now we're gonna just use the select tool and select the rectangle that we have just created. We're gonna just name it. We're gonna name the same as balcony for this one. Increase the font size a bit. This should be good. We're gonna double click that. The moment we're gonna double click that, this initiates the auto seat scanning process. We just need to click on next now. We are zooming it a little bit so it's easy for us to it's easily visible. Now we will need to align the cursor circle over here in a row so the system can detect both the seats and their numbers. If needed, we can adjust the zoom level to improve detection accuracy that we just did it right now. So I think that this one fits better. We just need to select just one number and that's it. Now you see a real magic happening here. Okay, the process is done. You can see this. It is already added. So once this step, we can see the system has automatically created all the seats within the section and number them according to the reference chart. We'll click on done right now. So it has detected 102 seats in 10 rows. Okay. Now you see that this is not labeled, so we're gonna quickly do that. Guys, you see this, all this are numbered right. We can clearly see these are numbered, but I will always recommend to you to quickly verify the setup since detection accuracy depends on the quality of the uploaded reference image that we have added to the setting. If any seats are missing or are not detected correctly, what we can do is we can simply click on that area to rescan and the system will create them again. So no need to worry, we can do it again, we can calibrate it and we can ensure that if any number is missing, we can do that again. But really, this saves a lot of time, a ton of time for you. Now we have done this, everything is green checked. So let's click on save and proceed this time because we are almost done with creating all the sections. We've added seats, we've added tables, we've added an upper row as a balcony as well, upper floor as well. Let's just click on save and proceed. Now this time, since we have just completed everything, it has validated the sitting chart. Now it's the time when we're gonna price it. So we just got two simple chart. So let's just add the ticket type name as tickets. You can add any description that you want. So I'm just pricing it as 50, section 2 as 75. Now there's one more important feature that we have. I just need to discuss that as well. It's known as preventing orphan seats. Now the word itself tells you like the seats which are really left out. Now what exactly happens in this is orphan seats are small gaps that are left behind when customer skips any seats, now disrupting your entire customer flow. It becomes a real pain when there's an entire row and one of the seat is left out and no one buys it just because the entire other rows, other seats have been taken by a family, leaving that one seat as orphaned. So by enabling this feature, you ensure that none of the seats have been left empty and all the seats have been booked by the customers. So let's do that. How do you do that? Is just go to the settings. Under settings, you have an option of transaction. Under transaction, you see this option of prevent orphan seats. So you can enable it for the online store as well as for the box office. So even you as an owner of the account, even you cannot make any mistakes. Like it will automatically show an exclamation mark showing that this seat, okay, has been left empty and you need to like cover up for this as well. So as of now, I've just kept it for the online store just for the demonstration purpose so that when I take you to the online store, I can showcase how this is done. So I'm just ensuring that this is saved, the changes that I've done. Okay, now I've told you a couple of features. Let me take you to the online store, show you a real-time example how this has been done at the online store. Now, guys, to ensure that we see this event at the online store, we're going to publish this event. So I'm just doing that right now. And this is very important to know. Once you publish the event, you won't be able to delete sections and feeds for this event. And it asks you, are you sure want to proceed? But in order to, as of now, we'll just click on yes. But any changes that you want to do once your event is published, you can always do that. You can just come back to your box office and you can unpublish the event for timing and make that changes what you're looking for and again put it back on sale again. So let's go to my online store right now. So this is my online store. So I already had my general admission here. So I'm just adding a reserve setting. So the changes that we have done, we can see whether how this has been reflected at the online store. Now, just because of that focal point feature that we had for the best seat, okay, what it has done is that the moment I click on, so either I can just select here the number of tickets that I'm looking for. Like say for an example, I'm looking for two tickets. It will immediately book two tickets, the one which are the best seats according to the system. So it has selected A10 from the section 1 and A9 from the section 1. Let's look how does the which are this best seats. Let's see which are the seats. So look at this. It gives a 3D effect like we are like checking something. So if I want to book balcony, I can just click on the second icon and it tells me the books allows me to book balcony seats. But for timing, we kept a focal point here. Remember guys, just next to the stage and it has automatically booked A10 section 1 and A9 seats from section 1. Let's click on section 1 and see which seats are this. Okay, if you notice that these are the closest seats from the stage and that's the reason they have been automatically booked. Okay, now we'll just uncheck this box again. We'll, so the moment you click on this online store, you also get an option for pick for me. Again, we'll do the same thing. We'll book four tickets this time just to see which are the best seats that these are booking. So if you notice, it's booking 7, 8, 9, and 10 from the section 1 row A, which is closest to the stage, and that's the best seats as per the system. And even if you want to see, if you click on choose seats, the stage is exactly here where you see my mouse cursor hovering, and these are the best seats according to that. So yes, it is able to book tickets. So this is how the focal point really works, gives you a benefit of giving the best seat according to your system. Now guys, we're gonna check the view seats option, how exactly the view seats look like. Remember from the E1, the option that we clicked, okay, these are the normal seats where we haven't added any seat view, like how exactly the seats from the seats our stage will look like, how we can enjoy the performance. So we have kept it on E1 earlier. So if you notice that on section E1, the moment I hover my mouse cursor on that, it gives me an exact replica how exactly I'm gonna view this event sitting on that chair. So this is again a best option. Again, we remember we also had an option, the last option we've kept restricted view. So the moment I hover my mouse cursor on this, it gives me an information that these are the restricted view. So if you want, you can select this seat or you can just skip it and choose a better option. Then we discussed about the seat or the tables where we have kept a variable occupancy. where we do not want a person to just come and select one ticket and buy that one seat, and rest all the seats have to be booked by someone else. We want the entire family to book a 10 tickets, 10 seats, and to do that, if you notice, if I just click on one seat here, it directly adds 10 tickets to the cart. It does not give an option to book by seat because I've kept variable occupancy, keeping the maximum option. So again, one more functionality work correctly. Okay, now what we're gonna check is, now right now we're gonna check orphan seats, like where the first seat or the last seats are left empty. How does that work? Now notice here, like row A1, this is the first option, and I being a ticket buyer, if I try to book a ticket number 2, that is A2 here, what the system lets me know, what the system pops me up. Okay, the moment I select A2, it does allow me to click on that, but immediately it gives a pop-up on my screen letting me know that please leave no empty space. It won't allow me to book this ticket. Similarly, if I click on the last option, that row number 10, the seat number 10, if I try to book 9, again it will show a pop-up, a exclamation mark on the seat 10, because this is kept as orphaned. But if I select 8, it will allow me to book ticket because then I can book 2 tickets in a row. Similarly, if there's an, we'll take a hypothetical situation here. Now, say someone has booked a seat 6, and if I try to, and all the other seats some book like 8, 9, 10, if I, and this is left empty, row seats number 6 cannot be booked here. So this is how even the prevent orphan seats worked. Guys, now we are about to wrap up the session. We have completed everything that we were supposed to, like all of the features. Now, before we wrap up, there's one critical thing to remember before publishing your event. Like once the event is published, sections or seats cannot be deleted. If tickets are already booked, you can add new seats, but book structures can't be removed, and refund must be fully processed before deletions are unlocked. Now, the reason this is done is to safeguard a seat integrity and avoid confusion when ticket sales are live. And reserve setting, okay, in Yapsody isn't just about selling tickets. It's about giving presenters clarity, control, and confidence while giving customers a simple, transparent way to choose where they want to sit. So by this, we sum up this session. So thank you.